Hey guys, it's Emma.
And it's Hayden, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing a bit of a tearjerker, the new Netflix film Marriage Story.
Yeah, still reeling from this one a bit. Marriage Story follows Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson in arguably their best roles to date as they play Charlie and Nicole, husband and wife who are going through a divorce. And we see how that divorce unfolds and the real emotional toll it takes on the couple, but also their young son. It's directed by Noah Baumbach and really a great film, I think.
Yeah, just really real and raw. You're really connected with the characters and the story because I think we've all been through breakups or, we've had parents divorce. So we've all kind of been through something similar. So I think everyone can kind of relate to this, either through the eyes of the two main characters or even just through the eyes of a child kind of seeing their parents break up.
Yeah, it really painted quite a realistic approach to a divorce. I mean, we've seen breakups and divorces a lot in films and TV shows, but this really took, I think, a more realistic approach to it. And I think a big credit to this film was the acting.
Yes,
Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, especially for me, just blew my mind with their acting skills in this film. There's some very emotionally driven scenes and you really feel for these characters. They really pull on the heartstrings in this and really make you connect with them and how they're feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the acting was top notch. There's already Oscar buzz for Adam Driver. They took their chops to the next level, and they just kept it just really natural as well. Like it didn't feel like it was forced. It was just really natural. They had great chemistry. Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson.
Really good chemistry.
Great chemistry, and I think it just all worked really well.
Yeah. And look, they had some really long monologues in this. There was quite long scenes and shots at time.
Well, a lesser actor would probably buckle under, but they actually carried these scenes.
They really did, and quite simple filmmaking, I thought.
Yes.
They didn't have a lot going on in the background with a lot of these shots, and I really think that was
no crazy set dressing or anything.
No, and I really think that was a creative choice to make sure that your focus was on these characters in that moment as they go through their turmoil of how this divorce is affecting them and the family.
Yeah, because it's interesting you say that because a lot of the framing compositionally was, center framing. Like all of the characters were getting center framed a lot of the time, which when you look into like the rules of composition, usually you'll follow like the rule of thirds or something where you'll have your subject either to the left or to the right, looking into the empty space. So if you break down like the screen into like a grid of like 9 squares and so like 2 vertical lines, 2 horizontal lines, and you have your character or your subject, sitting where those lines intersect. That's like the rule of thirds.
Yeah.
Not to say you can't center frame, but usually you center frame for a reason, and usually it's to keep the actor the main focus of a shot or a scene, because your eyes are kind of drawn to those points, and then they kind of work their way into the character. Which I can only assume that's what they were trying to go for. They really wanted the audience to focus mainly on the characters.
Yeah.
Not anything that's kind of going on around. Like, they wanted the eyes to be drawn into the characters. And for us to focus on the characters.
Yeah.
Because this is a character-driven movie. There's no big action scenes or anything like that.
No.
It's all character-driven. It's all emotionally driven. So I can only assume that's what they were going for with, the composition. But there was also some shots where they had a little bit of headspace. So again, when we're talking about composition, usually you want to minimize the amount of space above the head and keep that very tight. But they literally had not only like center frame that way, but also that way from time to time. Like their faces were almost the complete center of the frame. And maybe that was just to, again, just keep it just really real and natural.
Yeah.
Like, how like, your general person, like your everyday person will film like a home movie. It's usually center framing because they haven't gone to film school and they don't know anything about composition and stuff like that. They just film it as they see it. Maybe they wanted to get something like that across with this film, keep it really real, almost like it's like a home movie that you're watching.
And look, there were also some really drawn out scenes and shots. Like it's quite a long movie. Like it's over 2 hours. But there were also some scenes that went for quite a length of time, and very simple camera work, you know, not a lot of fancy cutaways or anything. The camera just stays with the characters.
It would even like rest on like wide shots during dialogue scenes for like long periods of time and just kind of sit on that wide shot, when usually they would go in and go into like close-ups and mid-shots.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, kind of some odd choices filmmaking-wise and cutting-wise.
Yeah.
Generally when you would go like start off on the wide, but then as the conversation starts to get a little bit deeper, you'd go into like those mids and close-ups, and they would just rest on that wide just a little bit longer and like long wide takes, and then they might go in for 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah. And I mean, even though it was quite a long film, you know, it was over 2 hours, and even though there were quite a lot of long, drawn-out scenes, and in a way, it was quite a slow story.
Yep.
It did develop quite slowly, but in saying that, I don't think we were ever not engaged with what was happening, and I think that is a big credit to the performances. Because yeah, even though you're watching these really long shots play out, you were still honed in on what was happening, and you really wanted to hear what these characters had to say and hear their side of the story, because, you know, in any breakup, there's 2 sides to the story, and the film did a really good job of making you not really be able to pick a side, because, you know, you see the good and the bad in either side of the relationship. So
yeah, it didn't take one side or the other, did it? It was like you had even screen time for both Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. It didn't paint anyone as the good guy or the bad guy. They're just human beings just trying to get through a tough time, and you know they're flawed characters.
Yeah.
But that's what makes them human.
And although it is a drama and quite the emotional storyline, there were a few moments that did make you laugh. Not hysterically, but
Chuckle-worthy.
It brightened up the mood a bit, and they really placed them at the right moments throughout this film.
Yeah. It never kind of ruined the tone of the scene.
No. Very, very, very smart in how they did that, just so you weren't totally depressed through this, because it is a very heartbreaking story, and you would expect a film like this, following a divorce, to have many arguments, have a lot of screaming matches in them, and actually weren't. This does follow a couple who genuinely do want to, I guess, end.
They genuinely care about each other. They care about each other. The marriage just isn't working anymore.
Yeah, and they do want to end on good terms, but once you get lawyers involved, you know, things start to go a little bit differently. So there aren't a lot of arguments so much, but there's one big one. One big one, and my goodness, I was a mess. It's really some of the best acting I've seen from both of them. But Adam Driver, especially in this scene, I feel like I'm going to tear up just thinking about him again.
He took it to another level, didn't he? Like...
It's still really raw moment. I'm actually starting to tear up. His performance in this was so real. I'm actually about to cry. It's still fresh in my brain. This was such... Oh my God, I'm crying. Damn it, Adam. Yeah, he took me there. I really felt for him in this scene. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. So, look, if you've been through a divorce, you're probably going to really feel this one. I mean, I haven't been through a divorce, and look what it's done to me. The performances in this are just phenomenal. I really, really hope that both of them, but especially Adam Driver, get nominated for an Oscar for this, because they were absolutely brilliant. Oh my goodness, what the hell? Maybe we shouldn't have filmed this
maybe
so
let's
soon
move on
after.
to maybe some of the stuff we don't like, and maybe that will kind of suck those tears back up.
Oh my gosh.
So there was one thing that we kind of did agree on that we didn't like, and that was the music choice.
Yeah.
Particularly in the last scene and the end credits. Which the music was really kind of light and bubbly.
Yeah.
Almost like a family comedy music, like almost stuff you'd expect in a family comedy. And it didn't fit the tone.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice of music. It wasn't constant throughout the film, but the moments they did put it in, I was like, I don't think this music is working for this scene. I don't know what the reasoning is behind it, but yeah, for us it didn't really work. I think it was a little bit too airy-fairy for the tone of the film. So But that was the only down point, I think,
Yeah.
for both of us. I mean, you're not really into these sort of films.
No,
He's not
dramas
really...
are not my thing. I'm more of a
No.
genre kind of guy.
Yeah, as for me, I love a good tearjerker.
Yes, but no, I did actually enjoy this one. I was really connected to the characters and the story. So it didn't really feel like a over 2 hour film. Like it went by really quickly. I was never bored, which is a lot for me to say about a drama because usually I'm like bored. I'll be on my phone or something, but no, I didn't touch my phone the whole time.
And I
was
think
completely invested.
I think that's a big credit to the performances
Yes.
and the story writing. Like, just it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Heart wrenching, but beautiful.
Yeah.
So I do really recommend you see this.
Yeah.
It's be prepared to cry.
Yeah,
But,
definitely recommend this one.
But yeah.
But yeah, if you have seen it, what did you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Like this video if you like what we do. Subscribe to our channel for more. But most importantly, thank you guys so much for watching and we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.